Welcome everybody to Notary Stars, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Beth Hathout. Today is Monday, March 13th, 2023, I think. Yeah, it is. Our special guest today is a RON platform that goes by the name of BlueNotary. BlueNotary was founded by a team with technical background in February of last year, when its founder was unable to get a document notarized. After driving around town and looking for a notary to help solve his problems and giving it some thought, BlueNotary was born. I'm sure it took a little bit more than just a little bit of thought, right? Today, BlueNotary is on the cutting edge of online notarization, and we're joined by their Chief Operations Officer, Ty Livingston, who helped to develop the product. Ty, we are excited to have you with us today and so anxious to hear all about BlueNotary. Take it away.
Hey, thanks for having me. First off, who made that music? Where was that from?
That's the Brothers. It's actually just a random song that we picked up. We've actually been in cohorts with them to actually use it for some of our advertisements, and we have permission to use it without recording it and replaying it. But we're looking to get the rights to make it kind of like an official song. But it is a long legal process. We've been trying since last November. But I love that song, and I think it's like perfect for us to kick it off with.
So that's a real song. That wasn't something that you guys like got made by some talented musicians. That's awesome. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to say thanks for having me, and thanks for hosting BlueNotary. Big thank you to Notary Stars. And this is my first time doing one of these, so I guess I'm just gonna kick it off. Let's get demoing. So this is our platform. This is BlueNotary. When you come in, we were designed by, am I sharing my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. See, I caught myself this time. All right. I was about to go off. All right. Let's try this. Okay. Am I sharing my screen now?
Yep.
All right. So you guys see the pretty flowers and everything?
Looks good.
All right. All right. So, this is what you're going to see when you first log into the BlueNotary platform. I think for this situation, it's best if I give you a demo from the notary perspective as like an individual notary. We also have plans for businesses, but I think for you guys, this is what we want to see. So let's just jump into what it looks like as a notary into our account. We are a big fan of big buttons at BlueNotary. So we like big buttons and not a lot of clicks. As was mentioned before, but from Beth, is that we are a team built by people with a tech background. So we are built by some coders. So one of the main things we really wanted to do when we set out to do this was to make it as easy as possible for both the signer and the notary, and to use our coding skills to get that done. So here it is when you come in, and you'll have the option to invite a signer. So that's, going to be the number one thing you're going to be doing most frequently, I hope. So we've got that. We also have other options here below. We have access to our Facebook support group, which will have other notaries from your state that you can interact with. You have our library of training videos. This is also available on YouTube, and you'll have access to our live call scripts so you can read along while you're doing any calls. We also have our session simulator and our new test with a friend feature. So session simulator will bring me into the session, but test with a friend will take me all the way through from end to end on both sides. So you can practice what it'll be like when your signer comes through, and you can kind of get an idea from their perspective. We also have this Nevada SOS document generator. So Notary Stars, you guys are out of Arizona, Ronnie, is Notary Stars nationwide, more or less?
We're a nationwide training company, and then my signing agency, Unlimited Ink Notary, is both nationwide. We are physically located in Arizona, but we service nationwide.
Okay, cool. So for you guys, if you're people in Arizona, you're not really going to have to deal with this, but if you're in like Nevada or New York or Kentucky, I think you're going to have an SOS generator. But for the most part, everybody else, if you're getting approved with a platform online, you just need to do like a sample document and submit it to your state. So if we hop into Session Simulator, you are able to do just that. So this is what it's gonna look like inside of Session Simulator. You see our lovely assistant here. She doesn't talk too much, but she's always present. And you got all our tools. It's, you know, it's your standard drag and drop notarization platform. You can start dragging your names. You can drag your initials and the date. We've got signatures, of course. So let me show you what it looks like when we drop our signatures down. I gotta move this bar again. Sorry, I'm a little bit new to Zoom, more of a Google Meet guy. But here we are. So we have the option to draw, we have the option to type, and we have the option to upload your signatures. And for typing, we also included the option for blue ink for a lot of refinancing packages, and mortgage companies were coming to us with this, the need for blue ink. So we were sure to get that specially developed for everybody. From here, you were also able to add signers and witnesses. Now this can be done during the invitation process, or you can do it when from the signer side as well. So we basically make it impossible to forget your witnesses or anything like that. So anything that's done here will also be stored in the journal. So this next part here, where you choose the notarization type, is also going to be stored in your journal. So you can choose multiples for these. We've got acknowledgement, jurat, oath, affirmation, copy certs, proof of execution, protest, signature, witnessing. We've just been adding notes as people have needed. So we got a really reactive team. If you guys ever have any features that you're looking for, that you need, let us know. As long as it's getting to us with like reasonable volume, we'll be doing our best to get it out for y'all. So let's see what else we got here. I can upload a new document, and I can also rotate this document too. I can reschedule the session, and you'll notice if I try to complete the session here, it's not really letting me. But if I hover over this little eye, it will tell me exactly why it's not letting me. So in this case, it's at least one notary seal is required. So all I have to do to get this going is just drop a notary seal here, and I'm good to go. I can complete the session. In a normal real session, it'll also be tracking if your signer is there, because we don't want anybody accidentally completing a session before the signer is present, anything like that. That's just like a safeguard there for you as well. If you need extra space, we have the option to add a blank page. So this can be done right here. You say, okay, you'll add a blank page. And this is what we advise for a lot of like notary certificates. So if you're ever trying to do your notary certificates and there's not enough room, definitely do the blank space and drop one down here. And then all you can do is drag and scale it out, and there you are. You can fill out your notary certificate here.
Mr. Ty, can I say something about this? Are these the ones that you offer for sale inside the platform? Because when I was setting up my profile, one of the things that I thought was really interesting is, you know, we have to have that electronic notarized thing, and I couldn't find them, so I bought them from you guys, but I haven't been able to get that far as to drag and drop them over. Is this the same ones that you have for sale for like $5 where you can buy them and it automatically puts them in your profile?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
This is a pack. So each state, we just sourced them directly from the state. We got it either from the Notary Public handbook, or we got it from the website based around like the notary section of the website. So each state's going to be a little bit different. So, you know, like some states will actually have like 12 or 14 in the pack. Other states will just have like 2 to 4. I believe for Arizona, I think it's 4.
I found it very useful when I was looking and I saw the ability to upload those electronic notarization blocks. I thought, okay, great. Now I have to go get them. And I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off to find them. And there they were for $5. It was totally worth the $5 just to buy it.
Yeah, it took a while to go through and get all of them. And then, you know, we customized them because if you're going through the handbook, you know, like this seal here is customized. Sometimes the seal will be in a wrong spot. So, and like I cut off all the edges on all of them too. So a lot of like the notary certificates you're going to get online, it'll be like in a PDF format, and it'll have like those edges around. So if you're trying to get it into our software, you don't really like add an extra PDF. You just add the certificate on top of an extra blank page in your PDF, or not blank page. So yeah, it's a good tool. It's available. And yeah, Ronnie, thanks for reaching out and saying that. I guess I should also ask, does anybody have any questions here? I don't know if I want to hold quite to the end. I thought maybe it'd be easier to ask questions throughout a little bit. I don't know, does that mess up your system at all?
No, however you want to present is however you want to present. If you guys have questions, you can go ahead and raise your hand virtually. Also, everybody, while we're waiting for any questions to pop up, there is a link for a tear sheet about Blue Notary that Ty filled out for us ahead of time with a lot of questions that you may have. Miss Beth, can you see? I'm going to see if I can switch it to where I can see. There we go. We do have 2 questions already. Miss Susan Oliveira, you are up first.
Oh, can't hear you, Susan.
All right. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. Quick question on the blue versus the black. Can you change that in the session, or do you have to have a separate black signature and a separate blue signature?
No, you can change it in the session really easily. So,
Okay. So we're not doing 2 signatures, one in blue, one in black.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Just if you like have the need. So like here, I've got them both saved.
Uh-huh.
So this is like our test account. So it's actually got a lot of signatures saved.
Okay.
But if you just do it once, it'll save, and then come in and do a second document, and it needs to be blue. So it'll come up with this choose option, and you need blue now. So
Mhm.
you can just click over to type and type in your blue, and you'll be good to go. It'll save it. They're separate.
Okay.
You don't have to like go into account settings or do anything
All
separate.
right.
Anything
Okay,
like that.
cool. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Well, we had another question.
Miss Keena is up next.
Hello. 2 questions involving the stamp.
Mhm.
Does every state require a digital stamp?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, every state does require a digital stamp.
Do you provide it for free, or do we have to purchase it?
We do provide the digital stamps for free. They're going to be a little bit different, state by state, but we've already done the work to go through and customize these. And if you ever had any problems with your state, we just bring them back to us and we help customize them again. So
you also offer the square ones. Our state prefers the square stamp instead of the rectangular.
we only offer the rectangular. What state are you in?
Ohio.
Ohio. Well, we haven't had an issue getting through in Ohio with the rectangular that I'm aware of. But if there is any issue, bring it to us, and I'll see what I can do with the tech guys and see if we can make something rectangular a bit more square and get that going for you. You got a second question too, right?
Yes, it's involving if we have our own personal certificate, are
Mhm.
we allowed to import that, or do we have to use your certificate?
Nope, you are totally able to import your own certificate. I'll show you where you can do that right here, and we can even go into a bit of the e-seal as well. So we got all that kind of stuff in our account settings. If I come into my certificates and file here, you'll see my e-seal and my digital signing certificate. So these are automatically generated for you with Blue Notary, and you're free to use ours whenever. If you do want to purchase to use offsite, that is possible and can be done through here. But the cool thing about the e-seal is we got it all customized to where even if I change the state and get a new commission, obviously we have to like register in a new state. But if I just change any info here, according to my seal, say I have a new expiration, I moved to Oregon, and I update it now. If I go over to certificates and files, it's just going to automatically update to match that. So,
Okay, that's not
you're good with
exactly
us.
what I meant by certificate. The certificate,
no?
I should have said notarial certificate.
Oh, you're meaning the notarial certificate. Okay, well, these can be uploaded right here.
Okay, so we can do our own copy certification by document custodian, the
Yes.
jurats, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can upload your own, fill them out. So these are some of the ones that we had. So like they're like half filled out, like the best we can for you. But for this, you would fill out your county and
Yeah.
get it all in there, so you don't have to be doing it every time.
Okay, great.
So that's where you can upload your notary certificates. You can also do that in the session, I believe.
So
You can
Ty,
upload-
going back to that certificate really quickly. It
Yeah.
says, seal here.
Mhm.
Are you actually taking our space for our seal, or does that disappear if we put our seal over that? Because we can't stamp over any information.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a little bit information for me. So some of the states might be different state to state. Some of these states have like a seal here mark.
They
On
all
these-
do on the certificates. It's a common thing
Mhm.
to have that action item
Mhm.
on the certificate itself, but oftentimes it kind of puts us in a bind as to where, if we have enough room to put our seal. So my question is, seal here, we can't stamp over it.
Yes.
So
So I guess a spacing issue.
it could be, yes, which
Okay.
brings me to a second question, but go ahead with that answer.
So for
Well-
that, it would just be kind of the same. I'll show it. We've got that customizable so you can stretch it out. I guess in that situation, we would really just recommend, if there's not enough room, just to make that extra, add a blank page and then
Extra
stretch
space.
it out. But it is
Yeah.
stretchable. So you can, you know, you can get a lot of mileage out of it. And we were very careful to get the edges so that you're not having any wasted space. So you can like really stretch it out as much as you want and really to the corners instead of like wasting any space.
Would the notarial seal itself be stretchable as well?
The seal itself is stretchable as well.
And rotatable, perhaps?
The seal is not rotatable. That's a good one though. Let me write that one down because I could see how that would be useful in your use case, exactly like you're talking about.
Yeah, particularly if it was rectangular, if we could rotate it so it stamps on there vertically away from those.
Because there's probably a fair amount of documents that leave just enough space for that
Yep.
little
Yeah.
vertical guy. Okay, I see another
You know what?
hand.
Mr. Ty, right before you go to that question, do you mind dragging that Jack Notary seal up? So Miss Beth, what I'm looking at here is it actually that isn't a transparent background. So if you put it over the seal, it looks like it looks like it's covering up that seal. So that
That could work.
Yeah,
So if
That
it
can work.
illustrates
Yeah.
what's on there, we're golden.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we've got the option for the transparent or the non-transparent for the seal when you
Okay.
download too.
And then
Yeah.
before we go to John Bright's question, because I know we want to get all these in before we move to more questions. I saw Stephen raising your hand at the camera. We usually do the virtual raise. Are you looking to ask a question as well? You can nod your head because I'm watching you. Okay, let's get Stevens because he was raising his hand like physically, and I don't want to get him lost in the digital questions. You just need to unmute yourself there.
Okay, sorry. I for some reason I can't figure out how to raise my hand on my screen. For some reason, I'll figure it out later. But thank you for noticing that. So I just had a question with the where you added this blank page and put in like uploaded the blank notarial certificate right there. So like when we're doing like wet signings, like at the table in person, when we do stuff like this, we're supposed to like write down fill out the optional information as far as like what it's being notarized, what document it's being notarized for. Is that something we need to worry about with during a RON signing, or no? Does that make sense?
I think this sounds like something that might vary state to state as far as what's required. But you also might be referring to this note of notarized online using audio video communication. So a lot of the
No, I'm talking.
okay.
Was that?
He's actually referring to the fact when we add a certificate to a document, it's called a loose certificate. And it is just a certificate sitting on a page all by itself. It's not part of a portion of the printed information on the document itself. It's a page that stands apart.
Okay.
In those cases, we have to treat it like a loose certificate and add additional information to tie the certificate to a specific document.
Okay.
So
Well,
what he's asking is, do we have to do that on RON as well? Do we have to add that information to tie it to a particular document?
To the best of my knowledge, you will. I don't know if Ronnie can speak up or otherwise. Like I am not a legal advisor, so I'm not able to tell you specifically in this context. But
Nor am I. But to my understanding, in a RON transaction,
How do we put that information in there? I guess.
To my understanding, in a RON transaction, first of all, the documents are like hard coded in some way, so that optional information may be invalid. However, let's say I needed to put 2 notarial certificates on this page. Would I be able to put 2 notarial certificates? So couldn't I add an upload for that optional information and then drag that over as well if that was required in my state and that made me feel good?
yes.
Okay. So if you could probably upload an optional information certificate, so that if you wanted to put that onto that document, looks like you would be able to drag, as long as you can do 2 drag and drops, you would be able to fill out that optional information as well.
Yeah, you can do 2 drag and drops easy here. I'll even show you. You can open up a second page.
So I think in this,
you can add your
you would
second.
just upload your own optional information, and then you would be able to go in there and fill out that optional information so that you would be able to put it all on one page. And I think that would be sufficient. And honestly, that makes me, the way I've done Ron up until this moment has always been where it's pre-prepared and the documents already have it attached mostly through Amrock. But using a platform like this, which I'm also learning about, that would actually make me feel really, really good if I could upload that optional information and just drag it over and put it on there as well.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Is there any questions?
And then we
Well,
have,
you've got a free-form text box as well that can be done with.
Yes, we have a free-form text box too. So you can type in anything special here. Like, for instance, at the moment right now, we have our date box, and it's just a date. We're in the process of adding some modulators to this so that it can be, the different types of date forms, it'll say March or like dashes instead of slashes, or, but like in the meantime, you can use just the text box and you can type in whatever you need to type in. So you can
How
say on
many
this day
lines
in
of text
February.
can you put in on there?
Oh, it's we don't have a limit on the amount of text.
Okay. So you could literally, when he's talking about that additional information that's required on a loose certificate, it could be drawn, you could drag a text box over to the bottom of this certificate and type out all 4 lines of information that we need to identify this loose certificate, right?
Correct.
Perfect.
That's correct. Yes.
my personal method would be uploading everything already typed out for me so I don't forget it, and then typing in the optional information. But
Me too.
Yeah, I've seen some wild stuff. I've seen a person do the entire free text, like write out the whole certificate on a free text. That was pretty crazy. So I'd recommend uploading your notary certificates and get them filled out as best you can before you upload, and then you're on your way off to the notarizations. All right. Is there anything else?
We have one more question from John Bright, and then we'll move on to the rest. He was been so patient. I want to make sure we don't miss him on this segment.
Yeah, I saw John Bright in here beforehand.
Hey,
John?
hey, Ty. We chatted back and forth. I'm on BlueNotary as well.
Oh, cool.
One thing, and I wanted to let Ronnie know this too. I have done about 100 e-closings on Notarize, slightly different platform. But one thing I've run into is they said that we should not resize our seal, especially on Notarize, especially on recordable documents like deeds of trust and whatnot, because I've had a couple that were rejected because I resized the seal. I don't know if other states do that. I just wanted to bring that up.
It is in other states. So I don't think they mean about making it larger. It's going to be, if it's too small for the text to read, is where it's going to come into a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to resize it because they didn't give me a lot of room on the document. So I've started adding loose leaf certificates like we were talking about, but they did reject it if I decreased the size of it. I just wanted to bring that up.
It's going to be when it's too small for the county recorder. So what's going to happen is they're still going to record this the way, and that's going to be on a loan signing really, or if it's a very sensitive document. When they go to the county recorder, they do it the same way. They're going to take that PDF and upload it to the county recorder. And if it doesn't go through their little magic, get through machine is what I like to call it, it's just going to reject it. So it's got to be able to read that digitally it's just like when you do a check into the bank. If you don't take a clear image of it, they're not going to deposit that check and they're going to reject it. So the technology is very similar. It's actually reading to see if it can read that language on your seal.
So
Yes.
Ronnie, I have a question for you, Ronnie. Being you do a lot of RON notarizations, every state has a requirement for size and shape of the actual seal impression, the ink stamp, right? When we do traditional notarizations, Do those size requirements also apply for Ron?
So here's the thing. We are issued a seal from, well, I got mine from the National Notary Association, and it comes in a certain size. And then I upload it to the platform that
Regulations, right?
and I've uploaded it to the platforms that I work with. Some of them allow resizing. Amrock, on one hand, actually places it at the size that they need it to be on that document. So really, I don't know if the state of Arizona or any state has a sizing issue on it, and that's something that we can look up. But I do know that the receiving party, or wherever that document's going to be used, can always reject a document. So I have always said it's better to be able to look down and say, yes, I can read that sitting this far away. If you have a problem or you have to move closer to your computer to read your seal, it's too small.
Okay, so that's a question we'll have to investigate, because I think it would be a visual thing for sure, rather than actual measurements. I don't know.
Yeah, we can look into that. But I want to learn more about BlueNotary. But I think these questions are great, and so far I haven't seen anything that couldn't be remedied from a stance of use on this. So this is, I'm curious to learn more.
I will say we haven't ran into that. We haven't run into the too small of a seal problem. That's a great point, and I think Ronnie's correct, where they're mostly going to come down and it's too small rather than it's too big. All right. So if I complete the session here, that I've got my seal, it's going to let me complete the session. It's going to automatically pop up right afterwards. So this will happen for both sides. So immediately after they finish the session, they'll have the option to download. Now, they'll also, your signer will be sent an email, and both sides will be able to download from their own side. So I can download this here. You can see my notary certificates. And if I don't download it there, I can download it here through my journal. Now on the customer side, it's going to look really similar, but it's going to say my documents instead of journal. But they just will scroll down to their final document. Let me find a completed session here. Looks like it's 063. And I can download one of these final documents here.
How long do they have access to their documents as a customer?
Right now, we have that to match the video right now. So we don't have a time limit on that right now. We're not like Notarized, where it's like 1 week and that's all you get. But
your site is a secure, it's a secure site. So if I were like advertising this to customers and I was trying to sell my platform, and they were going to host documents there that they wanted, I could say it's also hosted on a secure website or a secure server.
Yes, we are approved through Mismo. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mismo. Mismo is the mortgage industry standards maintenance organization. So they've kind of got this list of notarization platforms that they deem acceptable. So one of the things that they test for is security. So we are good to go on that, good with Mismo. And then we are also undergoing SOC 2 technical security tests right now. So that's like getting a bit into the weeds of it there, but it's we're good to go on security, and it's something we take very seriously. Because we have to, because, you know, we keep these videos stored for 10 years regardless, by, you know, remote online notarization law. So your video, you can download just a little bit farther down below. I'd like to show you guys what it's kind of like when I send out invitations. So I'll go back to my dashboard in here. This is usually the place where I would send any invitation from. And I just click invite signer. Let's see here. Signer details. We're in Arizona. This is fun, where I try to think of the most famous person from Arizona. Maybe we're gonna message Jake Plummer, right? And we're gonna send him an email. I saw somebody recognize Jake Plummer down there. And from here, I have the option to add multiple signers, and I can also add a witness. As I said before, we try to make it almost impossible to forget a witness. But I would recommend just doing it in the session, you know, just get them right in there, so they don't have to like wait around as much. For our session types, we kind of break them into two different packages. We have the loan signing package, which is like larger HELOCs, refinancing, anything like that, and then general notary work, which is pretty much just everything else. And then you'll have the option to set your billing preference. our Pro Hybrid members have the option to invoice their clients outside of Blue Notary. If you do this, you'll be prompted to enter your card one time, and then it'll just remember it forever, and you're good to go. But if you do this, it will not show any payment on your signer's end. So you'll be responsible for invoicing them. So it's great if you're trying to like discreetly have a higher price. But if you are just trying to rely on Blue Notary to take their money and give it to you, then you can leave this part blank and just proceed down to ID authentication modes.
And then Mr. Ty, quick question right there, because I'd love to know this, because I'm planning on trying the platform, taking the Ferrari app for a spin, so to speak.
Awesome.
Let's say that in Arizona, we're not allowed to actually charge more than $10 of a notarization. So what we've understood is that if you're charging them, then, and I'm just operating as the notary, that means that I can still collect that $22 for that first stamp. I believe that's what it was that I read.
Yes.
If you charge, how long does it take for me to get my portion of that?
So we send it out 24 to 48 hours after.
Okay.
And I think it takes like another 2 to 4 days from there, but I'm not 100% sure. It'll depend on your bank, whoever you're banking with. A little bit slower on Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, we get it out fast. It's not like save up to the end of the month and get paid. It's right away.
All right, all you guys are on your own. I'm going to get on my other computer and start taking notaries on Blue Notary. I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Ronnie. I was just realizing earlier when somebody said Ronnie the Ron guy, I thought that was great. You got an in there. I like to say that we're Ron guys. We're really online guys. We're really online Ron guys. Okay, the next part, we have the choice to do ID authentication. We used to just have it beforehand, but we moved it to in session so that you could kind of, as the notary, if you wanted to, you could be there while they're filling it out and you can say, hey, you just need to answer those questions there. I'm not familiar with the laws specifically in Arizona, but I'm guessing they kind of have something where if you know somebody on a personal level, you are able to skip authentication. Is that correct?
Personal knowledge, yes.
Okay, so we've got the option for skipping authentication if you're working with people you know. Otherwise, we keep it in session. And the last thing here is you're going to select your time and your documents. You can upload your own, or you can use one of our pre-tagged templates. So if you're using one of our pre-tagged templates, it's nice because you can change the fields and you don't have to change them every single time. So I'll open my templates here. You can just take a look at it.
Before we go a little bit further,
yeah,
could you go back one screen? I want to ask a question about the KBA.
Yes.
So I'm noticing here that it says type of identity for session. Just a couple of things, okay? For our notaries that watch Notary Stars and kind of do things, every notary needs to make their own decisions. But I just want to make this statement that skipping the KBA, you really need to know that person very, very well. I don't want a brand new notary watching this session to think if you just met someone a week ago. That is not personal knowledge. Personal knowledge is like you broke bread with them. They know your sister. You know how to find them. You know if they've committed a crime. That is real personal knowledge when you really know someone. When it comes to the KBA, I see you have biometrics there. Does that lock for notaries that are not in biometric states? Will that show to all notaries, or is that something that you guys block if they're in a state that doesn't allow biometrics?
So it will not be available as an option to send out if you do not allow biometrics, if your state does not.
Okay.
So that shouldn't be visible there.
Okay. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure that if it was visible to those notaries, that they were aware that just because it appears there, you have to know your state's laws on biometrics.
Yes, you do. And there's only 6 or 7 states that do allow biometrics. So definitely be aware of your state. And as Ronnie said, do good by them, basically. CYA for your state, for your notary, for your commission. All right, so I should show you the differences between the KBA and biometrics though, because you probably have some notaries on here who are not just in Arizona. And although Arizona does not have KBA, some other states do. So I'll show you KBA and then I'll show you kind of the biometric side. So let me send this invite out and then I'm gonna hop over to the signer side and kind of give you what it looks like from their perspective. I feel like it's super important to know as a notary, just because like you're asking somebody to come meet you on here, and then, you know, you should know what they're going to be seeing a little bit. So when I send out the email, actually, I'll show you what it's like when I send out the email initially, because we send out a big, well, it's not a big email. It's a short email with a big button. And the big button is to enter the session. So we've got these branded email settings here. And if you sign up with BlueNotary, you can put your logo up here, and you can put your own information down here. And then it's just kind of a co-branded experience. And they'll say, hey, you've got an invitation to a notarization session on BlueNotary. Enter the session or start here. And they'll click the button and they'll get brought right in. And I'll show you right where they get brought into. So get over to a customer account, signer side, and they're going to come in, not on this page. They'll literally be brought in directly to this page here. And if you chose to invoice outside of BlueNotary, they won't even have the payment info there either. So it'll just be a 1, 2 click through. We don't give them too many options. You know, you already chose the date for them. So if you chose the date, it'll already be locked for them. And I said before, you'll have the option to add witnesses and signers. If they want to add any extra documents, they can. But other than that, all they need to do is they can watch the video on how to do it, or they can just click next. So we try to keep it pretty simple as far as we don't want to overwhelm people with options. You know, too many choices is sometimes not a blessing. So keep it simple. Let's go meet the notary. And here we are for Start KBA. So this is the knowledge-based authentication, and this is pulled from credit bureaus. For KBA, you're going to be required to have the last 4 of your social. So if you do not have a social security ID, or your signers don't have one, you definitely would be looking for a different authentication method. These are the kind of questions you're going to be asked, or your signer is going to be asked, like which of the following address is associated with you, what area code is associated with you, what name is associated with you, what zip code, kind of things like this. So it's pretty good. It's got like a 98% success rate, but occasionally, you know, somebody will have moved 20 times in college and they won't remember exactly where they lived, or conversely, they might not have ever moved at all. So if they miss one question, that's okay. They just have to get 4 out of 5 right to pass. But if they miss 2 questions, then they have to wait 24 hours. So that's kind of like the real pain point behind KBA. And then if you live in a state that allows for biometrics, you have another kind of more futuristic option. So let me show you the biometrics in here. We're excited about it. I know Arizona is not quite there yet, but I hope Ronnie will handle that, right?
Give us another 30 years, we'll get it.
You guys 30 years? I hope I don't have to wait that long, but I think you're the guy for the job. You know, it's like, I feel like Ron is inevitable, like on a point, like it's coming, it's going to happen. It's just like a matter of like the timing and the demographics. Like if you talk to a lot of young people, like under 25, under 30, and you ask them to get a notarization, they're just going to assume that that notarization is something that you can do online. So I think it's coming, and I think it's inevitable.
One thing that I wanted to, while you're setting up for the KB, for the biometrics here, one thing that you mentioned, and I want everybody watching this to understand, is if you are working with real estate investors, that Ron is very painful for them. And you probably want to let them know and develop your own language that if a real estate investor, because a lot of real estate investors start out putting everything in their name, their social security, so it looks like they're buying these houses and they're flipping these houses. And I had a guy literally in tears. He needed to do something and they promised him he could do it on Ron, and he could not get past the KPA because he was like, I've owned 100 houses and like bought them and flipped them, and I don't know all the addresses. And he was overseas at the time and trying to get something done for a sale, and he couldn't. So if you're working with real estate investors, especially those smaller companies that are going to great places, if they put a lot of stuff in their name at the very beginning, it's going to be an extremely painful process. And had we known, this is the first time I ever had to deal with that. Had I known that, I would have had customer language built into my sales spiel, but it did not look good on me or Unlimited Ink. because we weren't able to save the day like we always do. So take it from my experience. If you are working or going to be offering this to real estate investors, you may want to let them know, or title officers who have big real estate investors that will be using this through your platform. Just make sure they know that this is not ideal for signers who have owned a bunch of properties, because they're not going to be able to pass.
That's a great point. One of the other problems with the KBA is if they don't have a social. So if you're dealing with anybody overseas that's trying to get something done, they're not going to be able to do it unless they have a social security card. Biometrics does not require a social security card. So that's one other perk for the biometrics. For our cards that we do require, and we do require identity validation either way. So it's going to be state ID, passport card, and driver's license are the 4 options for that. So you can see them here: driver's license, state ID, passport card. This is just a sandbox test. So it'll just take whatever photogenic photo I throw at it, and it'll pass my driver's license. Obviously, that will not pass in a real situation. You cannot throw a peace sign and it will not work. This is the biometrics part. So instead of doing 5 questions, and as like the developers, we really like this because we don't have to click. Instead of saving 5 clicks, here's all you got to do: look left, look right, and then it uses that data and information, checks it against your ID, and confirms that I am who I say I am. We've had a lot of success with biometrics. It's pretty foolproof. We probably only had 2 that haven't worked the entire time we've had it. And one of them was some guy that had like a giant beard by the time he took his photo, but he had his like a clean shaven picture with his ID. So that was kind of something you could maybe be aware of, but I just kind of thought it was funny. So digging in on the signer side, this is what it's going to look like. And they're not going to have near as many tools as you can see. So here I am on video, and all they have is their name, their initials, the date, check marks. You know, check marks are good for places that need check marks. And they can do the free text again. They can reschedule, but for the most part, they're just kind of following your directions. And if you place a signature down, there's going to be an arrow, like a pointy arrow right up here where my mouse is. And your signer can just click that arrow and it will automatically bring them down to the signature box. That's pretty much it from the signer side. It's not too much. We just try to keep it clean. Signers are able to use their phone, of course. For notaries, we do require that you're at least on an iPad. So we just do that to have like the best overall signer experience. And, you know, like if you're doing your own thing, I think you'll probably come to the same conclusion on your own. So this is kind of what it's like inside the customer side. As I said, they have their My Documents section. It's similar to the your journal, but has a little bit less information here and there. And they can still download all their stuff, and they've got access to their audit logs. I didn't show you these, but you'll be able to see when they passed their KBA. They'll be able to see when their photo ID passed, when the session was completed, all that stuff. And we are the first, this is just this week. A week ago, we're the first notarization platform to integrate with the blockchain. So the way your digital certificate kind of works is that it goes back and tests against a centralized location. With the blockchain, we're going to be advancing that. So we're going to be the first notarization, or we are the first notarization platform that is validating our documents across a decentralized way as well. So that is also on the table. That is through our partner Bluke. And they help with blockchain. That's on Gnosis, which is like a layer 2 on ETH, and is also going to be on Matic. And I'm probably getting too into the tech of that stuff.
You really are, because
yeah,
nobody here knows what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I was like, is he still speaking English?
We're going to check. So basically right now we got centralized checking. That's what every notarization platform does. And then BlueNotary is also going to check it in a decentralized way on multiple different locations. That's the TLDR of it. Yeah, I know. It's a lot. What else we got here? We got reports. I should show you the reports so you can kind of see what kind of value you're getting out, how many sessions you're completing, how many stamps you're placing down. You can adjust that by specific dates. I showed you the templates. let's run into our account settings. What other kinds of stuff do we got? You can, if you are a Spanish speaker, you can select this here and it will show up in your profile. You can choose to show your profile on our website. You can also choose to disable that if you don't want. I showed you guys the branded emails. So this will be kind of how you can customize whatever you want here. And this will go out to your customers. You can put your own logo there. And coming soon is our loan signing agent program. This is not yet open, but what is our open call program. And this is for general notary work. So you have the option to opt out of these if you're getting too many emails, but these will be available to claim in your dashboard if you are just online and somebody comes through the internet street, walks onto our site and is looking for a notarization now. They'll be dropped into this pool and you can claim them right here by clicking claim this session, basically. So that is another feature of the Pro Hybrid membership, is that open call system. We also, the other week, launched this. Yeah, go ahead. Cut me off anytime.
I want, before you go into the referral program, because I've been putting our referral link in there. I have two questions about first of all, the loan signing agent. So on a loan package, if you guys build a client, how much is the notary being paid for a session as a loan signing agent?
So we pay out 30 on any that are sourced through us. Yep, 30 for any of those. But if you are invoicing outside of BlueNotary, then we charged a $25 flat rate.
Okay.
So for that, there's no additional fees for extra signers, no additional fees for seals. The only other fee you would have is if you would use one of the BlueNotary witnesses that are available on demand.
Okay,
you
so
can
this
also,
is actually perfect. So I want to stop notaries because I bitch a lot, excuse my language, but I go a lot at Notarize and say they don't pay a lot. But let me explain here where I see a difference in this, okay? Pricing is pricing. You guys are bringing it in. I'm going to say it. You are a guest here, but I think that's still kind of low. Maybe you guys can work on it for us. And I'm pretty glad that you're here. So maybe take that back to them. But on the hybrid model at Unlimited Inc., we already bill in an additional $25 for Ron to any Rons that our 250 clients do. And we always have to charge them more for witnesses because we have to, round them up and get somebody on there. So this is actually kind of like a great model where you can use a BlueNotary witness for only $10. So you're not having to charge that client more. And $25 off the top, you're still getting the full fee from the title agency. You're just marking up a 25 upcharge for Ron. So that actually works out to like a pretty good pricing for direct business. And all of you, we've had this conversation in other sessions, and maybe Ty, you'll become a part of those in the future. All of you should be trying to sell your Ron platforms to your title companies, not just rely on signing services or the platforms to bring you the business. You need to be able to have that conversation with a direct title company and say, I want you to approve my platform, and this is what it will cost. And a $25 upcharge for Ron is completely a really safe zone, because I have really tight clients. That means they don't want to pay more for anything. And I've never had a problem with a $25 upcharge once I explained that this is what it costs to process the transaction. So I just wanted to stop and kind of point out the pricing there, because I think it is a really good, especially for a model where they're not charging you like a huge monthly fee. Now that's one thing I want to ask. You have a couple of models, and I think we need to go over that really quick before we go into that referral thing. So you can have a free version, and you can have only BlueNotary charge the client. And I want to make sure anybody watching this video or learning from Notary Stars, we had a problem. How we actually found out about you was we had a notary who used the free version, charged the client on a title and escrow, and they wound up having to pay for it. And so the client did. And when a client's going through a loan transaction, every penny of that loan transaction, including that signing, is being charged on a settlement statement. So you can't have the signer pay BlueNotary to get their documents and then send them to you. It has to be done on what you're charging on that settlement statement or what's been done. So you can use, like, I would love to use the basic general notary work in Arizona, right? Because they're going to charge $22, they're going to charge whatever they charge, and then I'm going to get $22 for that one $10 document I would have not got. And my personal single, when it's just me, not Unlimited Inc., I charge $35 if it's within a few zip codes, because I will take anything because I can get it done in 30 minutes and get another one. So you could literally, make $22 on that free general notary work and have them bill it if your state doesn't allow you. But then the pro hybrid, that's going to allow you to do both types of transactions, right? You're paying a certain amount of money, but you can bill the client, right?
Yes. So we actually do not even have the option to do big loan signing packages on the free GNW plan, the basic GNW plan. And maybe that's because of what happened with the person you were talking about.
This just happened like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? Okay.
Yeah.
We moved it before that.
It was a seller file, so it might not have, it was a seller file. But what happened was they uploaded the seller file and then had the client, they didn't understand the model. And that's another reason why we want to bring you guys in, because, it's an honest mistake, right?
Yeah, it is. When you go through the invite, that's like the main, if you forget it in the invite, the session, that's kind of probably maybe what happened to him. Maybe he was a pro hybrid member and he forgot to do the invite the signer in the session. I'll show it. I'll bring it up so we can all look at it together. Because, I help with the customer support on this, and we've definitely experienced this from time to time. So if you just click this here, that's all you got to do. And then I've got saved cards, but that's the main step you got to do if you do not want your client to be billed, or if you do not want to rely on your client inputting any cards, anything like that. But yeah, other differences between these plans. Let's see. Pro hybrid, you're going to have the templates. So the templates you cannot do in the free plan. And also in the free plan, you are not able to sorry, excuse me. Just had somebody walk by. In the free plans, you are not able to add additional signers. So you only be able to have one signer in your session. The free plan's pretty much for somebody that's just trying to get in, try it out, do a little bit of GNW, see if they like it, get their feet wet, and then kind of take it up to something more serious if they're going to be doing loan signing packages or multiple signer packages, or
and I do have one question that was sent to me about the pricing, and this was actually sent prior to the event. So on the screen here, what I'm reading under Pro Hybrid is it says that you're paid $22 for each notarization, 3 goes to KBA. After that $22 for the first notarization, am I still getting $22 for each let's say they bring 3 documents. Am I getting $22 per notarized document?
So here's how we do that. There'd be additional seals on these documents. This is kind of like our payout schedule for this. So each additional seal, we pay you out $4.
Okay.
And we've got like our hard set kind of billing schedule for the business side. And this is like what your individuals would see on their side. So they'd see $25 for the one stamp, they'd see $8 for the additional, and $5 for each additional signer. So this gives you an idea exactly what they're going to be seeing on their end if you choose to bill through BlueNotary. As a Pro Hybrid member, you can also add custom charges if you choose to bill through BlueNotary. But the only thing is it's going to display there on your journal and in your customer's journal, in your customer's My Documents section. So if I'm trying to get you an example, I realize I'm kind of clicking everywhere, but it'll look like this. So like, if you're trying to upcharge them for something, you might want to do it like a bit more discreetly, or just think of some formal name for the extra charge that you're going to be adding. That would be my recommendation there. Other differences, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
tagging, templates library. Yeah.
We've had a couple of hands raised for a little bit now. We might be well past them remembering what their questions are. And Kina, your hand was up and down a couple of times, and I need to apologize to you for when you first came on with your questions, because I inserted myself in the middle of your question and then you never had a chance to get back to it. So did you have a question? Your hand was up a couple of times there. There you go. Kina, go ahead and unmute and ask however many questions you have, and then we'll go to Tanisha or Tania.
Okay,
ahead.
the first question is on the journal.
Mhm.
In Ohio, we have to have an image of the signer's signature. Is there any way to do like a snip and insert it into the journal?
So we are installing a new kind of notes section specifically for the journal that you'll be able to put in images and text, anything like that. But in the meantime, you'd probably just be using the final document itself and getting in there and looking at the signature on the final document itself.
And on the final documents, do you store them out there so that the customer can go out at any time, log into their account and
Yes.
download them? So yeah, okay.
Yes.
On the, okay, when you were mentioning the witnesses, is that a document witness or an identity witness?
That'll be a document witness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for identity witnesses, they'd still have to, it still have to be somebody like credible.
Yeah, credible witness. The witness would have to go through KBA.
Yeah, and they'd have to know the main
Yeah.
signer, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That answer your questions?
Those are my lists. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect,
I'm
thank
sure
you.
there's some others.
Yep, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Tania Harrison. Hey, Tania, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Did you send her the request? The meeting's on lock.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, there it goes. I was trying.
There you go.
Hi there.
I might have two questions.
Sure.
The first one, is the platform in Michigan?
Yes, it took us a long time in Michigan, like 6-7 months. We were fighting to get into Michigan, and Michigan SOS has like a 1.5 out of 5-star reviews on Google, and we got that like 2 weeks ago. So I'm still excited about Michigan. we're there.
Okay, great. So I didn't come in at the beginning of the meeting, but if I signed up, will I still get this type of training as extensive as this, or because I'm a little confused, honestly.
We don't have like a personal training program or anything, but we do have our Raw Essentials training course that launched, and we do have our whole library that's available here in our dashboard. So I'll show you exactly. It actually branches you out to our YouTube page, and sorry, I've just got so many zooms in front of my mouse. Let me get there. There we go. So here is our training library, and you can see other videos of sessions, how it's done, kind of walk you through. And I guess I should mention, as it relates to this, is we also take a lot of pride in our customer support chat. So this is down here. If you pop in here, myself or somebody else capable on our team will be here ASAP to get you sorted. And this also has our help desk library on it. So the help desk is pretty cool. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. It's just kind of like a really clean how-to resource site, and we work with them. So we've got all these frequently asked questions here, and it even says like how popular they are, and you can click in and it'll show you exactly what you need to do. We got all kinds of tutorials on here. So I would highly recommend hanging out here, hanging out over on our YouTube page, and then joining our Facebook group, which is BlueNotary/groups/BlueNotary /, and you're going to see other notaries there who have been through the same process. And sometimes we get notaries that will meet there and they'll do like a training session together. I showed you guys this session simulator. We also have the option for the test with a friend I was explaining. So yeah, that can be a great place to meet other notaries. And I'm sure Ronnie's got, hey, there we are. We got Shem coming to help. I'm sure Ronnie's got a couple of great communities full of people as well.
Okay. All right. That's my question.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Glad
Did
we
I
can be in Michigan.
understand correctly anyway? And she can't unmute again. That's okay.
Okay.
So Yvette, right here in our home state of Arizona, Yvette, do you want to unmute and ask your question? And she's gone. Where'd she go? There you are. Yvette, are you?
I just want to say I like Notary Geezer's screen.
Yeah, we all love
While
notary.
we're all here.
All right, so my question was pertaining to one that Tania made.
Mhm.
How responsive is the customer, I guess, support for notaries? And is there a certain hours that, that they can be reached, or are they available 24/7? Let's say we're doing a really late, notary, job, and we get stuck or something happens and we need that support.
Mhm. So we have robust support from 7 to 9 Central Time, but then we still have 24/7 report. At that point, it gets quite a bit triaged, I would say. So some things that can wait for the morning, they do. But for technical stuff, we do have technical staff on hand 24 hours a day.
Awesome.
I would like to say I was very impressed with the support. So as you guys know, I never sleep and I'm always working, and I have been able to get responses pretty quick on the platform with anything when I was getting set up, or any questions that I might have had. I was pretty happy with the support, and I've tried other platforms and not been so happy with their support. So it was really nice.
We take a lot of pride, Ronnie. Thank you. That means a lot to me personally, because I run a lot of that. And this is our kind of our Trustpilot scores. We got 4.8 stars out of 5 on Trustpilot. So, we talk about Trustpilot a lot in our customer support groups. We try to hold a high standard, and we're not trying to go below 4.8. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Yeah, support is super important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a pillar, right? Isn't it? Foundation.
Yeah. There you go.
We have another question up there. If you're ready for the next question.
Yeah, sure.
From Monica.
Hi.
Hi, Monica.
Hi. What do you know when you guys are going to be in Illinois?
We're waiting on Illinois. Yeah, we're waiting on
Everyone's
Illinois. So
yeah, because they approved the RON, but they don't have no specific laws out there yet.
yeah, it's complicated there. In South Carolina, they're kind of like the same, where it's approved, but they're just, the SOS isn't doing what they need to do. So for that, for a long time, we were frequently told it was going to be July 1st. More recently, they started saying summer or fall. So we're coping with that, but we're optimistic that it's done by at least summer or fall, that Illinois, because we get a lot of people coming through Illinois. There's definitely some demand. Did you have any other question?
Monica?
No, that was it. That was the only question.
We're getting there as fast as we can. Promise, Monica.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Angela, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yes. Does Blue Notary supply customers, or do I have to already have my customers?
So we have a hybrid plan, and it's set both ways. So you can invite, as well as you are available to join our open call pool.
Okay.
Now, Ty, I want to ask about this, and I sent you an email, but I want everybody to know I've been on the open call, and I'm usually sitting here. It comes in by email. So when you're on the open call, those emails come in. So far, I think since I signed up, since Thursday, I've seen at least, I'm going to say 30 plus come in, and I've never been able to get one of them so far. So there are some competitors out there, but I will tell you that this has been kind of nice to see how much Blue Notary is doing on the other side for general notary work. But the open calls, I haven't been able to grab one yet. I'd love to. Actually, I can't really take it, so I need to stop trying. But I've just clicked on them to see if I could get to it, and it always says it's done. But I'm waiting on my run approval for Blue Notary and Arizona, which should be any minute now. But and then I can really do it. But do you have any words of advice on that? Does everybody have a real chance to get those open calls that come out?
Yes, so everything goes out at the same time, and then everything is just operating on first come, first serve basis. So we're not able to ever guarantee any volume. I will say that volume has gone up month to month, as long as I've been at Blue Notary, and we intend that to keep going. For me, I would say the 3 or 4 primary features of the Pro Hybrid program are: number 1, the ability to invoice clients outside of Blue Notary. Number 2, I'm going to say, is the ability to have additional signers. And then closer to 3 or 4 is probably where I'm putting the open call program. I would put other stuff above it. That's kind of the open call spiel.
Okay. And then we have another question coming up from Tania.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Back to what Susan was saying about the fogginess. I did have an experience where the document looked just like that and it got rejected.
Okay. Please reach out after through the support chat here and let us know the session number, and we'll start getting to work on it with you. See exactly what we can do.
Okay. All right. That was it.
Thank you. And then our last question for today comes, wait, we have 2 more questions coming today. The next one is from Miss Judy Thompson.
All right, thank you. I have a question. Do you get any work for Florida, or do we also can do other states besides Florida?
So both for that. Generally speaking, cross-state notarization has long been recognized across state lines, but as Ronnie was mentioning earlier, it will always come down to the receiving party. So as a notary in Florida, you are able to notarize documents from out of state. It will depend on the document type. So I would recommend checking with your specific SOS with that. But Florida is a good state because you guys have the option to do biometrics. So that means any foreigners that come in from outside of the country are kind of funneled into just the biometrics pool. So that's a benefit to you there in Florida.
So if I do sign up for the Pro, and if I don't get enough work, am I on a contract, or is it a month to month?
Just month to month.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do any huge long contracts. If somebody does want to do a 12-month contract, come talk to us. We'll probably knock a month off. But other than that, everything's just month to month. We're not trying to get anybody over a barrel for the whole year or anything. Try it. If you like it, cool. If not, cool.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, totally.
Now, Ty, before we go to the next question, I actually have a question, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but there have been a couple of platforms that say yes and a couple of platforms that say no. So with SnapDocs and signing order and owning a signing agency, if I wanted to hire a Blue, like let's say I tell my clients, here's another platform, we'd like for you to get your underwriters to approve it. They do, and then that means when they put in a RON order, I can send it out to Cyberize it, Blue Notary, Notarize, whatever platforms that they have approved. Some of them only have 1 or 2 approved. We try to get them to get everyone approved, and the reason that we do that is because let's say one fails KPA on your platform, they can hop onto another platform.
Yes.
We don't have to charge them a month, and we don't have to wait 24 hours. So does Blue Notary have a directory that where we could go and import them, or can you guys send a CVC to like signing agencies where we would be able to ping, like from SnapDocs or signing order, ping like a notary that is on the Blue Notary platform so that we could get them to do the loan transactions?
So we don't have you mean like a directory like calling. So we have our kind of like state by state index. And you can see what this kind of looks like in here. It's a little bit, let's see, where do I find these? State by state. Let me find these profiles. So we don't have like a great index, I don't think, for exactly like what you're looking for, like one that you could just go and call like a specific notary. Sorry, not profiles on Google. Profiles, Blue Notary. Excuse me here.
You're okay. And if you're not able to find it, right away, that's okay. We can always update, put a blurb at the end. I was asking more from a signing agency perspective, where I'd be able to go out and know who's on that platform so I can find them.
See, okay, here we are. These are all profile indexed, and then you can do it by state. So this is what it looks like right now. You see a lot of people haven't uploaded pictures. So they could come through here. I think that we could come up with a more elegant solution for what you're trying to do.
So right now at Notary Stars, because we do pull from the list and we're building lists for other signing agencies, what we did right now is once a quarter, we're sending out like a job form. Everybody tells us what platform they're on at the moment, and then we put them in there so that we can go through them. One of the platforms was actually gracious enough to give us everybody by state so we could plug them into a list. And because when an order comes out from a signing agent or from a title company, the way that it usually works is they put in the order and they say, we can do Notarize or BlueNotary or eNotary Log or whatever platform, and the notary has to be in this state. So those are sometimes two criterias. And with the signing agency, it slows down the scheduling process if we don't have those notaries in a specific list.
Okay. Well, we've got these index directories, and then we could definitely work on something like a CSV or something. If that's
it's just a question. You don't have to come up with a solution at the moment, but it is something that I'd love to see because I do think that this is a viable solution for a lot of notaries, especially with the pricing being pretty fair. I do see this as a viable option for notaries.
Yeah, well, I think me and you were talking about, hey, we try to go and get it in we try to get every platform and every title company. I was like, you're like my hero. You're like my kind of guy right now.
It's actually very smart for them, and I want to get these last two questions answered because I know that the people on the East Coast are getting hungry, but it's actually just really smart to educate clients, and it's really smart for notaries also to have more than one platform. That's why we showcase more than one platform, because if something happens on a platform and you're not able to pass KBA, you're able to give your signers a better experience by saying, hey, let's try this alternative solution for you. Because the KBA questions are going to be different per platform. They're not bound to KBA behind the scenes. It's not like you're all connecting to different ones. You're doing your own KBA version. So it just makes sense to have more than one platform solution.
Yes, I totally agree. Especially with KBAs going through the credit bureaus. You can definitely get different questions coming through.
We have two final questions, and then we're going to call it a day. We have John Bright up next again.
Hey, John.
John, we sent you the unmute request there.
Yeah, sorry, I had another pop-up. One thing on the hybrid plan, when you get notifications, is there any plan to make that real time where it is pushed through on the web page? Because I know that I have to constantly refresh in order to see notifications coming in.
So the general recommendation to be is if your internet ever becomes disconnected, then you are going to need to resync and refresh. We don't have any sort of indication to let you know if you've been disconnected. I can talk with them about that.
Okay.
Was that it, Mr. John?
Yeah, that was it. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. And the next question, our final question for today, is going to be coming from Miss Nancy Fauché.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, outstanding. Hi. So you said that if we need a witness, you have witnesses on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Is that people in your office, or is that something you would shoot out a request to another notary that's sitting there waiting for work to be a witness?
The second one that would go into our pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I was wondering. So we can get the opportunity for sitting there waiting for closings to come through, or general notary or for whatever comes through. We can have the opportunity to get that job or just to be a witness.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you could potentially have the opportunity to be a notary and a witness for the same job, although you would never be able to do both.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Thank you. All right, everybody, I want to ask if you will take a moment to turn on your cameras. We've learned a lot about Blue Notary today. Mr. Ty, if you want to put into the chat, it is unlocked for you. If you want to put it into the chat, how to contact you or how to contact Blue Notary. I did put our affiliate link in there just so you guys know that is an affiliate link. So I don't get a chance very often to make a little extra money. So if you're interested in Blue Notary, please use our affiliate link. But I do want to say this, guys, okay? And this is no offense against you, Ty. We have a lot of platforms come on. I do see this as a viable option, but I will let you know that number one, any platform that you use, you do need to make sure that you you have checked with your Secretary of State to make sure that it's approved. And you also want to make sure that it is a good solution for you. So due diligence, just because we present something here at Notary Stars does not mean that we're saying go out and buy it. All of you are small business owners, which means that you have to make decisions. We do episodes like this so that those products and services that we can use as notaries can come in here and so that you can learn more about them and make your informed decision. We will put this on YouTube so that you can get your replay, and then it'll also be in our members only library as well. I'd like for everybody to turn on their cameras though. And Mr. Ty, if you don't mind unsharing your screen there.
Yeah. Let me figure that out. Just give me just a second.
No problem.
I got a green box. Oh, there it is. A red box. Stop share.
There we go.
Hey, everybody.
So everybody turn on your cameras. We have a guest in the house today. We need to give them a proper Notary Stars send off. I'd like for everybody to turn on their cameras and let's give our signature wave there. And I'm going to say it and then Miss Beth will close us out. If you are not naked, turn on those cameras. If you are not stuffing your face, turn on those cameras and let's wave to Mr. Ty Livingston from Blue Notary, who came here and gave us a great presentation to help us learn about Blue Notary today. And Miss Beth, how do we say it here at Notary Stars?
Well, we're going to say it a little bit different today, but I just want to remind you that being successful doesn't necessarily make you great. What does make you great is when you reach back and help somebody else become great. So grab your fellow notary, take them along your journey with you, show them the ropes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Mr. Ty, for presenting with us today. We really appreciate you. And just so you know, if you have any updates to your platform that you want to get out to the notary community, the door is always open for you to let us know, and we'll be happy to have you represent again or make updates to the existing video.
Hey, thanks so much. I almost forgot. iPen is on the way, and eSign should be around a month as well. So coming soon.
Awesome.
Thanks. This is a hell of a show, man. Thanks so much. This is great.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
All right. Thanks, guys.